So welcome to another edition of 5 Minutes with a Founder. Today we have the ex-rugby playing, now startup man, Greg Barden. How are you doing, Greg?
Yeah, not too bad. Great to be here.
Okay, I'm glad. Not forced you into
Not
it.
too much. Not too much.
So yeah, Pixie. Can you just tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll head into the questions?
Yeah, no, there's three parts to Pixie, but it all revolves around independent businesses and our mission to get to create a more local world. And the way we're wanting to do that is through discovery, payment, and loyalty, and combining the three into what we've created in the form of an app at the moment. So one of the key problems that independent businesses face is actually knowing that they're there. In a world where there's increasing amounts of noise and competition, they struggle to get you to notice them. So first and foremost, we set out to solve that problem for them by creating an app where you can easily discover them wherever you may be in the world eventually. And that was our first problem that we went out and solved, and we spent hours and hours walking out on the road, street store knocking and speaking to independent businesses. With getting refused to get handshaken sometimes, and right, they get inundated with people coming in and trying to sell them stuff. So when we go in there and obviously very passionate about what we're trying to do and our mission, you sometimes you learn quite quickly to take that on the chin.
Yeah, no.
But nevertheless, we spent a lot of time out, and building out the discovery platform. With a view to combine and put the payment and loyalty aspect on top of this marketplace that we were creating. Okay. And that is, with an idea to keep more money in local economies filtering through local hands. 80% of transactions go through Visa, MasterCard at the moment. So we're trying to put an alternative in that space, which again, as I said, is all about keeping more money filtering through local hands. Primarily that's been based on e-money, which is part of the current system, but more exciting and what we're working on at the moment is blockchain and creating our own local cryptocurrency.
Oh, amazing.
Which will underpin the loyalty aspect to begin with, but with our long-term view to create this local currency that you can use and around the world that helps us connect people with independent businesses.
Amazing. Well, what we'll do we'll put a few links to all the cryptocurrency and any latest info for Pixie that people can click on and read, and obviously find out as much as possible. Presumably, any independent coffee shops, stores, restaurants out there, there's a part on your website that they can get in touch with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
fantastic. Well, we'll make sure we put all those links up. Okay, then if we get cracking with the questions for you, so we can find out more about you, other than obviously the previous rugby background. How old were you when you first tried a venture?
So it was 4.5 years ago, actually. So I used to be in the Marines, which is where a lot of my experiences that eventually led me to Pixie happened. So in places where you'd probably least expect it, Afghanistan, Iraq, Kosovo, I kept experiencing outside of why you would think we were there and what you would expect us to experience. But outside of that, I just kept experiencing this reoccurring theme of connecting and meeting these people, not very great circumstances, often, as was often the case, but and it always revolved around mainly independent businesses and the communities. Independent business being different in different parts of the world, but so that was probably the foundations to which the idea of about how independent businesses give us this common ground, regardless of our background, to come together and just meet on equal terms.
Yeah, I've got to say, when I was first told about Pixie, I thought it was an incredible idea. But I've got to say, that's puts a whole new light to it when you said that's where it's kind of sourced and thought about.
Yeah, very much. And it doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't matter wherever you are in the world. if you seek out these independent businesses, they're run by people who have a stake in their local community, who care, and just offer a different insight into the world, which I think is increasingly more important as we're obviously more and more connected, but probably without that human aspect, which technology can't replicate. And that's why I think independent businesses are so crucial to the world going forward.
Nice. Almost with your background, it'd be interesting to see this. But which one failure have you learned from the most?
God, there is literally so many.
Bearing in mind this is 5 minutes with the founder, Greg.
5 minutes with the founder. Oh God, one of the key things. I don't know. One of the, I don't think there's a shortcut.
Something learning when you first set up Pixie is how much is the idea of what initially was there and how it's evolved. Presumably that payment side, but that was a thing that I
think. Well, I learned quite quickly, and this is keeping in with Reid Hoffman's actually about if you're not embarrassed about your initial concept or product that's gone out there, you've then left it slightly too late. So I was kind of more waterfall at the very beginning, where we wanted to go and think, oh, it's going to happen straight away and we're going to launch with the perfect product. And we've had about 4 different launches over the last 4 years. So it's definitely not the case. It's a case of test and adjusting, because you pivot all the time. And what you think is the path ahead is often the case. It isn't often the case. Yeah. So I think it's not being. I learned definitely not to be so precious about the product, in terms of getting it out there and being open to feedback and user experience, etc. and stuff, and then adjusting from there.
Thank you very much taking that constructive criticism.
Oh God, yeah.
But as long as the launch don't become an annual event for the next 20 years, then
you're on to a problem. Yeah.
Okay, this one I'm interested now to hear. If a plaque had to go up in a bar, restaurant, a plaque had to go up, bar, restaurant, coffee shop, where you could, and the plaque would say, "Pixie was founded here." Where would that be?
I think that would be generally in the Helmand province down in Afghanistan, where, literally. I think that's the one area that I always come back to, and where I think my eyes got opened the most.
I think it's safe to say we could do 100, 200 of these interviews, and I'm pretty sure we will not have that answer repeated. If we ever do, then I'll get you two people to meet.
Yeah.
And so now, obviously you've moved on to this. What motivates you to get up in the morning to keep going at it and keep trying at it?
Without getting too philosophical, although we're a business and we understand the importance. We're just talking about this today with the team about being profit generated and stuff, but we're values driven. And I think when you look at the world today and this, I believe, this increasing epidemic of loneliness that seems to be across the world, and specifically in the Western world, where we may have all these social media platforms and the ability to connect with people, but like I said earlier, it lacks this humanity element to it. So I think if Pixie, in its own little way, can have a positive impact on this epidemic that I think is in the world now, then that alone is a motivator for me every day.
Okay, amazing. I guess these two actually, then I might couple up in one question. So I was going to ask you, what change do you want to make through tech? Because we're ourselves, we're a tech recruitment company. We work with a lot of startups, tech startups, and it's amazing how tech can do all these things and bring people together, like you say. But are you more kind of wanting to use tech to bring people closer on a more kind of human level, as opposed to just kind of it being a click away?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's that conduit. So like I said, to humanity, it's good enough, and it just gets out of the way rather than it trying to take over your entire life or journey or whatever it may be. So you think about Amazon, you know, it's consumerism by convenience.
Yeah.
We're happy to sit on our sofa and order food or order whatever we need, and that's fine. I understand it. There's a place for it in this world, but also there's a place for Pixie in this humanity element that I keep talking about, and that's where we see Pixie playing its part. That it allows you to use it and, you know, to connect in this real world, and then get out of the way and let you experience the world firsthand rather than through secondhand, you know, Instagram and seeing all these amazing pictures. I want to be there. I want to be connecting with these people in that sense. So,
and finally, then I guess then for as you grow and as Pixie grow, you know, you're mostly based down in Poole now. As your team grows, would you want everyone to not only to understand that philosophy if they were to join Pixie, but kind of almost initiate that's why you're doing it? Or are you happy to kind of almost teach people in that kind of understanding? Maybe we're kind of blind to the fact that it's happening.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a scale and a journey. Myself and Paul Yarrow, our CTO and co-founder, have certainly been on ourselves, where there was a catalyst to begin with, but through, you know, going through this journey, you understand it a lot more. So I think, you know, from a cultural point of what we're trying to create here as a team, it is really important that people have an affinity towards this, and if they don't quite live that lifestyle that we're trying to, you know, promote, then there's just got to be willingness. And I think, you know, with the team that we have now, and I think the way people are viewing the world, there's this appetite, and I think what we're trying to create with the team is the foundations for that. And if we don't practice what we preach, then we can't have the impact in the world that, you know, that I was talking to you about earlier.
Amazing. Well, Greg, I think that's been a great little taster. I wish we could spend more time talking, but like I say, it is trying to be 5 minutes with the founder. We'll put all the links up for people to be able to look more into Pixie, but also more into the values. And I think it'd be just a great thing for people to think about in their day-to-day. If we can, whilst technology, I'm a huge advocate of it. If we can use it to kind of physically, on the word humanity you kept using, bring people closer together, then I think all for Pixie, and best of luck with it all.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, Greg, best of luck, and we'll speak soon, no doubt.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Cheers. Bye.